block as on point, which means it's like that. It's going in a diagonal direction. So we are going to make an on point quilt, and you can make a quilt along with this tutorial if you would like to. That is the same quilt. It's made out of the Gingham Girls fabric. So let me go ahead and show you a little bit about what we're making. So that's a good little summary. So the fabrics that we're using are these Gingham Girl fabrics. I put these on a design board because they're kind of sticking to the design board good. So hi Carolyn, thanks for sharing. Oh, you guys, for those that share today, the video, what we are going to do is we are going to give away fat quarters. And we're going to give, since we're doing Gingham Girls, we're going to give away a fat quarter of each one of these collections, a red one and a blue one. And they're just really fun, playful fat quarters. So I think that these, this actually would be a great border on this quilt if people want to border it. But that's what we're going to be giving away, are some fat quarters for tonight. So for those that share the video, that's what we'll be doing. So, but this is what the Gingham Girl fabric collection looks like. And this fabric was designed by Amy Smart. She is Diary of a Quilter. And I know I love the bias print plaid. I do too. So, but Amy, what she did for her very first fabric collection, she actually made it look like some of the 1970s. She did it in honor of the 1970s. Hi, Robin. And she made it so that it was just kind of a reminder of all of the fabric that, or the clothing that her mother would make her out of different various clothing fabrics and stuff. So she did this as rather a tribute to the fabrics from the 1970s. So there's just some really neat, delightful fabrics on this. Now, there are two kits available for this quilt. The first kit is, you can buy this as a charm pack, and you just buy a 5-inch charm pack, and then you purchase 2 of these little white 5-inch charm packs is what you do. And this will make a baby quilt for you. And then we have a sashing for the quilt that can either be a red gingham or a navy blue gingham. It's these fabrics right here. So a red gingham or a navy blue that will add as a, you guys can choose as a border to that. You could also choose maybe one of these fabrics right here if you wanted that to be your border fabric. You never know. But if you want to make a larger quilt than just a twin size, I actually really love this fabric collection, and it became extremely popular. I guess Missouri Star Quilt Company did a tutorial on it, and Amy's very first collection of fabric from Diary of a Quilter, it sold out, and they reprinted the fabric, which is very unusual for someone's first collection. So it's been that popular. She's getting ready to come out with a new collection. Oh, here, I'm so glad I have it. And we're going to make some more things with it, but it's called Sunnyside Avenue. And this is what her next collection is going to be like. And we'll do another tutorial week of this. So just so you know. So, but so this is the option that if you want this as a baby quilt, this is what you'll be working with. And you'll have a border with this. You can also get some backing fabric if you want. It's up to you. But if you want to use your own stash for this, you need 5-inch squares. You need about 42 of them, 35. And then you need white fabric or a complementing fabric that would go with it. You might have some charm packs that you've been hoarding and that you'd like to use up, and this might be a great time to do that too. So you've got lots of options. You could also switch this out for an option, say sharks for a little baby boy or for anything. But I actually really like this because once again, it's those bright fabrics and they just really sing to me. And I just think this collection is just very sweet. Okay, this is the baby quilt size. I think it is $60 for that whole, everything for that. Now, for the large quilt size, that is going to be a twin quilt, then we are using 10-inch squares. You might have a 10-inch charm pack laying around that you might want to do this with. And then with this, we are using 2 of these pre-cut charm pack. So there isn't a lot of cutting that you have to do with this quilt. I'm trying to present to you guys simple quilts that you can just get done quickly if you're an experienced quilter, or quilts that you can work on as a beginning quilter. So that's what we're doing. So in this charm pack, I showed you, kind of fanned out on that design board, what the fabrics look like. But I have actually sashed 3 of these. So you can see there's this one with some blue, and you can see they're on point. So what this means is, instead of this being a square like a square, we're turning the square so it's on point. All right, and we're going to square this down just a little bit.
Is that a layer cake?
Yes, that's a layer cake. So good job. So this is a 10-inch layer cake. Okay, this layer cake is just a solid white fabric, and I actually looked at the price of you buying solid fabric, and it's actually kind of cheaper to buy the layer cake than it is to buy solid white fabric, which I found was interesting, because I kind of priced it out to figure out what's the most, because I'm all about economics, right? This is a charm pack that is the 5-inch size charm pack. So yes, you are right. This is a layer cake. That's a charm pack. This one uses 3 charm packs, 3 layer cakes, the twin size, and the baby quilt is using 3 of these 5-inch charm packs right there. Okay, so that kind of helps you if you would like to make this quilt. Now, so here are 3 prints that we have actually put the triangles with. So we've got 3 of these already done, but I wanted to show you how to assemble these. All right, so let me go ahead and grab some of this. I like layer cakes and charm packs too. In fact, I just bought some today. Yeah, it was like a really cute little, it's just, sometimes it's so fun to have a piece of every piece of the collection without having to buy the whole collection and ask someone to cut like a half a yard of every single piece of the collection. I love kind of grabbing layer cakes and charm packs and fat quarter bundles. I'm kind of all about that. I don't know about you guys, but I love seeing the whole collection. Okay, so let's go ahead and get down to how to make this. Yeah, pre-cuts are my favorite too. And we're going to do, oh, you guys, I really kind of want to share with you what we're going to do next week. We're going to do 2 quilts. One is, it's in the bag over there. It is, oh my gosh, I can't remember. It's May, oh my gosh, I'm totally getting a brain cramp. But we're going to do one, and I'm going to let you know all about that one. But we're going to do another one. And this is called Farmhouse Florals. And this actually was one of the very last collections, or it was a fabric collection that was designed by Nancy Zyman. So you guys all know that Nancy passed away this last year, who was just an iconic person out there for sewing and quilting. And she did all of those videos. Does everybody remember who Nancy is? Oh, and we're doing a Valentine quilt this week. I cannot wait to show you that Valentine's Day quilt. So this is really gonna, I am so excited about what we are making. But next week, we are going to be doing the Farmhouse Floral. And let me just try to show you a little bit of what this fabric collection looks like. It actually has some fabric that is shiplap in there. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's like a shiplap wall, and it's just really sweet. And that's a kind of wooden wall if you've ever seen this. But Nancy Zyman is, she designed this for Riley Blake Fabrics, actually the Penny Rose division, before she passed away. So, I mean, look at those beautiful florals. So I am so excited about this. But for this quilt, we are going to use this 10-inch layer cake. And we are going to use this 2.5-inch roly-poly. So we're going to combine these 2 together. And I have a plan for the prettiest quilt that is going to honor her. And it's not, so you grew up watching her. I know, I grew up watching her too. And I still just so deeply respect her. And I can't even tell you. I mean, what a legacy to the quilting and sewing industry that she has done. But I want to do this quilt in honor of her. And I know that's kind of silly, but I am so excited about this. I mean, she designed this before she passed away, so that's huge. But we are going to use a layer cake and a roly-poly for this. And I don't have this on the website for sale, but it will be up really quickly. And wait until you see what the quilt looks like. This will be about I think about a twin size, maybe not. I'll get the exact dimensions, but I have got something so divine planned for that quilt. Okay, so that's a highlight for next week. We're doing a heart quilt later this week, probably on Thursday or Friday. We're going to do the heart quilt. And it has got such a fun surprise in the middle of a heart. So we're going to do a heart quilt that's made out of these kind of squares and half square triangles. And there's a very, very special block in the middle of the heart that is really, really special. So you guys are going to, I think you guys are going to really die over that one. I'm going to try to finish that up so I can get it posted. Okay, so back to our on point quilt. This is what we're working on this week. I also am tomorrow, I'm going to highlight how to applique Lori Holt's bake sale quilt. And the first block of that series are some pie blocks. So tomorrow night, you're going to learn how to applique. And I'm going to teach you my method of appliquing, and it'll just be kind of a nice break in between. So anyways, we'll enjoy that. And I'm going to do that on every Wednesday for the next several weeks until that quilt is finished. So, and you'll learn some different techniques and strategies as I make that quilt for you in front of you. And it is really a pretty quilt, and I will post pictures of all of that too. Okay, so this is what we're making tonight. These are the blocks. So let's go ahead and work with the white square blocks, except real quickly. This layer cake comes with 42 pieces of fabric from the fabric collection. We are only going to use 35 of them because this quilt is going to be five squares, 5 blocks across and 7 blocks done. Okay, so there's gonna be 35. Yes, I'm excited about you guys learning applique, and you're gonna learn small bits of applique as we work on it each week, and we'll build your skills of applique as we go along. And I really like it, and I'll teach you machine applique and hand applique. So I'm gonna teach you both methods. So it's really gonna be a lot of fun. Okay, I'll get back to this. So in this bundle of fabric comes 42 pieces, but we only need 35. So you're going to set aside 7 pieces of this collection. So I just kind of, I don't know, I pulled that one. I pulled some of these whites. I pulled this gingham because I thought we'll maybe use one of the ginghams. And I pulled this white because we're using white to put all of these squares on half point. These are just beautiful fabrics. This little yellow, I'm going to have to make a pillow or something with one of those, okay? So I have selected the 35 squares that I'm using. You guys will select what you want to do. All right. From this layer cake that is all white fabric, what we are going to do is I'm going to take a couple of these. I'm going to show you how you can do this in a stack. So I don't know, I have maybe 10 of those right there, okay, that I've grabbed out. I've just randomly grabbed out some of the 10-inch square layer cakes, and I'm going to lay it down here on the cutting mat, and I'm going to move each of the cameras so you guys can actually see my cutting. All right, so let's go ahead and bring this down. Let's bring this down. Okay, and remember, all of these videos will stay live so that each one of you guys can always be able to view this anytime that you want to view this. You'll be able to view these videos anytime. So they save live, they save for time and all eternity on Facebook and also on YouTube. So you can see right here, maybe you can't, can you see that well enough? Let's move this down further. Okay, let me just go ahead and go a little bit further right there. I think that's good. Okay, so I have the square of fabric right here, and I'm putting my ruler in a, Corey, what would you call this? In a diagonal. Okay, now remember everybody, you have to help me with my words. When I'm on screen, I don't always think of everything. So you have to help me teach this, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this and we're gonna cut it at a diagonal, okay? But we're going to do something a little bit different because each one of these squares around here are just a little bit too big, because you can see we're going to square this down. So we are actually going to put this center line of the ruler, I'm going to put it right here. Well, we're going to cut 2 inches from here. Okay, so we've got this one center line is going to line up with the midpoint, and I'm going to cut this short an inch on this side, and then I'm going to move it over and I'm going to cut short an inch on the other side. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that so you guys can understand this. So I am lining up this line of the first, hold on, where's my cutter? Here it is. In fact, I had the little strips, the extra strips to show you, but I'll show you. So, so what we're going to do, we could do this easier, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this. So let me show you right here what this looks like. So here's one cut of this triangle. Okay, can you guys see that? Here's the cut that I want. So you can see that what I'm cutting is actually slightly smaller. Can you see the shadow in there? This is slightly smaller than this actual square. This is a 2-inch gap right here that we're generating, okay? So we're gonna figure out a way to use this 2-inch fabric. I am all about, we are gonna save it. And I wanted to do, we could cut it down the center and then cut an inch off each side. But you know what? You can really do a lot of things with a 2-inch piece of fabric. So I'm all about saving the fabric. You know, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I'm trying to be economical. Now I'm going to turn this around this way. Okay. Once again, I'm going to take this ruler.
Someone's asking, how do you convert that cut for charm packs?
Okay. Oh, for the 5-inch, charm pack, we are going to still have to do the same thing because this is going to be too long. Hold on. I've got a picture somewhere. Oh, I know where it is. Okay. Same thing with the 5-inch charm pack. And if you purchase the kit from Stitches Quilting, if you purchase the kit from Stitches Quilting, you will actually get all of the pattern and the instructions, and I will have this available for you too. Well, you know what? Good question. Okay, it's not 2 inches. Very good point. Who asked that? Lorraine. Great question. So you will not be doing the same amount. You won't be cutting 2 inches down the center of your 5-inch charm pack. I got the question. Very good. Lorraine, I will have this answer for you for tomorrow. Okay. I will thank you. Very good question. And please, everybody ask questions because that's a very, very good question. So for your 5-inch charm pack, you're going to have a different formula here. Okay. So I did already pre-cut some and put it underneath here so that you guys could see that and see that that's what we're going to do on that. Okay. So back to this cutting, I am going to once again take this one line and I'm going to put it point to point down my square. Well, what was the square? And then I'm going to leave an inch on this side of excess and an inch on this side of excess. And then that will give us the size of triangle that we need. So everything looks good. And there's my squares. I could have cut a lot more than that. This is our excess piece of fabric that we are going to have that we're going to incorporate into maybe a throw pillow or something. We're going to find something to do with this, okay? I promise you. I'm all about using it. Hi, Gina. How are you? It's so good to see you. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of these squares, and I'm going to lay this up so that you guys can understand this real quickly one more time. So you can see that, no, let me do it on the cardboard. This is the cardboard that this charm pack came from. So we had to make these triangles just slightly smaller than just cutting the square in half. And we have left over then this 2-inch piece of fabric, okay? But this will be detailed out in on the blog post, all right? I will have that all detailed out for you. And then I'll have it as a PDF pattern that you just electronically have and you can keep on your computer. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to this. Here we go. So we saved a couple squares and I just love this print right here. Isn't that just the sweetest print with those daisies? And one of my other favorite prints is this navy blue one right here. So what we're gonna do with this print is I am actually going to lay this triangle. Let me grab my design board. Here we go. Kind of hard to see, but I'm gonna lay my design board, my fabric right here. There's my fabric block. I'm going to put a triangle on the top and the bottom of this charm pack. Okay, so these are the white triangle charm packs that we cut into a triangle, but I'm going to stitch right along here and I'm going to stitch right along here. All right, so let's go ahead and do that right now. Then we will stitch the triangles on either side. Okay, so over to the sewing machine we go. If we want to, we could pin this. I've got some pins. Oh, you do want to have your triangle match the center of your square. So let's go ahead and match this triangle. So we've got the point right here, and you can just do a light finger press that just matches that up. Okay, so I'm going to put a pin in it so you can see what I have matched. Now, another thing when you're working with triangles, remember that cotton fabric does have a little bit of stretch. This is the 90-degree angle of the triangle. So you don't see much of a stretch there or much of a stretch there on the triangle, right? But this is called the bias cut of the triangle. But look at the stretch right there. Can you see how much that stretches? So when you cut something on the bias, it's going to stretch a lot more. And you really want to be careful that you don't allow that to stretch too much when you are stitching it to the blocks. Because remember, this long line right here, this is where the bias cut is of that triangle that has that stretch. And when you're just kind of, you know, working with the fabric, you can feel those things that are happening. Okay, let's go back. We were finding the center of this triangle. So here's our center point, and I'm going to just stick a pin in it. Let me use a green pin so you guys can see it. So that's our center point. And you're going to get a good eye for this as you go on. So there's my center point of my triangle. Now I'm going to grab the center point of my block because you do want to make sure that these are centered. Can anybody think of some tips? Let's see, what size ruler are you using and how do you keep it from moving when you cut? Very good question. And I will show you that on the next cut if that's okay. Let's see here. Let me show you something. When you buy a quilting ruler, one side is rather smooth. The other side, if you look at it backwards, there's some texture to this, okay? And so this is the side that you lay down on the fabric, and there's just the texture of that print or the overlay of it, and that will help grip it to the fabric. And you just kind of hold it down in place. But I'll show you some more cutting techniques. Okay. All right. So there we are. Our two pins are lined up. And so you get the idea that we're stitching this. We're stitching this triangle, the center of the triangle on the center of the square. Got it? Okay. So I'm going to bring it over here to my sewing machine. My good old trusty machine that's always here. It's so reliable. I just love it. Okay, let's bring that up. Let's bring you over so you can, uh-oh, what'd I do? Corey, did I turn off the video?
No, not the Facebook one.
Okay, let's see here. Face ID. Okay, hold on. Ta-da, sorry guys. Oh, let me go back on. I think I did. Let me see.
Well, it takes a while for it to catch up.
Okay, here we go. Are you guys still there? Is it still going, Corey?
Well,
Okay.
it takes a while for it to catch up.
Okay,
It's still
so
showing the ruler.
let's go ahead and see. So here we are. We're going to go ahead and stitch this to the side of this block. So let's go ahead and lay this down. And I'm going to press this right here. And I'm actually using white thread this evening, you guys. Because on this quilt, I'm actually using so much, we have so much white on the quilt, which makes the colors pop, that I'm actually using a white thread. So let me go ahead and show this to you.
Still catching up. You said.
Okay, so here is where I stitched that across, and then down here is where I stitched it right here. Does that make sense? So for those of you that share the video tonight, then there are some packs of fabric, and let me actually just fix something real quickly.
Yeah, it killed it.
Yeah. Okay, so let me go ahead and fix this, and let me do edit, and oops. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so actually, Corey, I might need your help to fix this. Okay, so let's keep this.
Do you need to start a new video?
Save this.
You're starting a new video?
Yeah, I'll have to start a new live. Okay, so let's just go ahead and go with the live right here, but you're gonna have to share it again.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are, we're back. Sorry, everybody, but the Facebook Live went down. I clicked the off button on the camera. Thanks, Carolyn. But okay, so I stitched this side to the quilt right there. And then we're gonna go ahead and move it to the next side. Once again, I have my pre-cut squares that I cut all in one massive little strike there. And we're going to center that. And I can see where my other triangle point is, that this is centered. Does that make sense? So these little triangle points are actually lining up here. And so as you get going along, you'll have more confidence about where your center point is. Okay, so let's go ahead and proceed with this. And I'm going to start on the side and just do a 1/4 inch seam. And I am using white thread. I was telling everybody else tonight, I am using white thread for this quilt because we're really using a lot of white to make those fabrics pop. Okay. So this is where I have just about all of these squares, except for this one and that other solid. So this is the point of where I have all of the blocks. I am going to now just press this with the Easy Press Cricut machine. So let me bring this up here. And actually, but I can pick up another block for you guys. Let me go ahead and show you. Okay, so right here, you can see we have all of these blocks already pressed and they're all ready, but they need to be squared up. So you can see that we have these extra little tails hanging out here. But before we square these up, we're actually going to sew this across because we do want some edge to this. So we don't want to stitch this, to cut this flush yet. Okay? So let's go ahead and add more to this. So once again, we can do the center and the center thing. But what's really nice about this is when I line this up, I can see, as long as I don't stretch that bias, that I've got equal sides on each part of that square. Does that make sense? Can you guys see that? So I've got, as long as I'm not stretching that triangle where that bias is, I can see that that's lined up just right. I'm going to go ahead and pin this because, you know, we are stitching it on the bias and you don't want it to pull. You could do whatever you want. Ordinarily, I wouldn't really go ahead and do that. And these seams will actually go in towards the center. I'm not going to press my seams open. Okay, so let's go ahead and go like this. So we will have another video of this where you can see what the quilt top actually looks like. But I think this is a great thing to do with any charm pack that you might have hanging out there. Okay, so there we go. Let's go ahead and do this. And so that's now stitched. Take out those pins. And I'm now going to put the next square down here on the bottom. Okay, so let's go ahead and lay that down. I'm going to lay my triangle right on top of that. And really with this solid white, you've got right sides together. Does anybody pre-wash their fabrics? I don't. So here we are working with a quilt with red and white and some pretty other darker fabrics. And I should show you guys how I fabric test my fabrics to see if they should be washed. My thread came undone. Do you guys ever have that happen to you? Where you're sewing away and then all of a sudden your thread comes undone? It's really annoying, don't you think? And it always happens. It seems like the bobbin runs out or your thread comes undone right at the time when you don't want it to. Doesn't it? Okay, there we go. It's rethreaded. Has a little knot in it though. Let me go ahead and just trim that thread. Where do I have a little pair of scissors? I have so many layers. Okay, here's a pair right here. So many layers laying around. Okay, where is that little, there it is. There's the little knot. Sorry guys. Okay, let me pull this through. Pull my thread through. Okay, great. So let's lift up that foot again and then down it'll go back. Okay, so we're gonna just go ahead and stitch that. And now you can see that we have this actually all four sides of the triangle stitched, all four triangles stitched to the four sides of the square, which is the 10-inch charm pack. Okay, so there is that. So let's go ahead and press this with the easy press. Here was the other one that I stitched. There's actually two pieces of the same fabric in there. So this one was pressed before. So now what I'm gonna do is I have this design board right here, which these design boards are for sale on Stitches Quilting, where you can buy them where they're already pre-made, or you can make one yourself, and we need to do a video of that. Okay, so I'm gonna lay this down because I'm gonna just press on this myself with the easy press. And I'm gonna set those seams that we just did. And then I'm going to press these seams over, and that will be good for the back. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and press the block on the front. And remember, when you press, when you're quilting, you don't wanna press too hard because you could distort the fabric. So let's go ahead and press this again from the top side. Okay. Oh, this looks so sweet. You guys, what a beautiful block. Okay, so here we are.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna take her.
Okay, how long will you be gone, Jake?
I'm dropping her off at her Young Women's thing.
Okay.
Then
And then
coming back after, and then I'm picking her up.
Okay, well,
after her Young Women's.
okay, let's think about that. Yes, that's a huge iron. I will text you, Jake. Okay, sorry, you guys. Okay, so here is our block that we just made. Do you see how easy that is? All we did was cut the white charm pack in half with this 2-inch strip. And then now we have this really pretty block. And we've got lots more of these blocks over here stitched. Just about almost all of them are stitched. It really does look nice, doesn't it? Oh, it's so pretty. I can't wait. Okay, so you guys, do you think that we should have for those of you that are experienced quilters, have the blocks kiss each other where they're going to join together, just kind of kiss just slightly right here? Or should we let them float with extra fabric? Okay, because this is where we make that decision. Now, you could continue to use a square ruler. A rectangular ruler. So let's go back to our rectangular ruler. I'm going to actually use a larger one. So for those of you that might have joined in later, we are actually making this Gingham Girl on point layer cake charm pack quilt. for either a twin size or a baby quilt, okay? Yes, I will, Clayton, I will get you a picture. So I will post a picture tomorrow. So I am going to actually measure this. All right, let's move the cameras without disconnecting everything, right? Cut it, not disconnect everything. So here it is. I'm going to go down to cutting. Let's go ahead and go to cutting again over here so you guys can see the cutting. Okay, and let me fix this one. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we're cutting right now. And let me grab the design board because I want to make sure that this is really clear for you. That's good, Corey. There we go. So here's the design board. So just so you can see a little bit better what this cutting is like. So we're not flat. We are going to cut this. We're going to trim down this block that we just made. It has a layer cake that is on point, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to trim this so it has 1/2 inch of fabric right along this point right here, along each one of these points. And we can, so that is what we're going to do on each one of these points, is we're going to let there be a 1/2 inch of fabric. So, and I'm going to trim this off. So let me go ahead and show you this. It's very easy to do, but oh, how wonderful it is to work with really square blocks. So let's go ahead and just trim this off. The other thing that we can do, let's turn this around, is we can use our ruler, because it's got, usually quilting rulers have different diagonal lines, right, on there. So our square on point is at a 45-degree angle. So we can actually use this 45-degree angle to make sure that we're square with this. You know what I think about sometimes are the pioneers out there, or people that were quilting way, way long ago, and they didn't have any rulers or things like this. And how did they figure out all the math? Isn't it just so impressive? I tell you, it's so, so impressive. Actually, I think we need to bring, I'm worried about you guys cutting wrong, but I'm going to bring it down to about a 1/4 inch mark. There is really what we should be doing. Okay. So if you can, share the video, because tonight you guys will be winning fat quarters of these fabrics right there. Okay. So, and I will ship them out to you. So if you can, share the video, and I'm going to slice that off. Okay. So there we go. So you can see that I have now a 1/4 inch seam allowance right there. All right. Can everybody see that? I'm going to rotate this block and keep doing it. All right. So we're going to take it over here. I'm going to bring it at a 1/4 inch. I can use the 45-degree angle to kind of give me an idea that I'm for sure on the right path here. Let me just pull this out a little bit more. That one could be pressed a little bit tighter, but that's okay. And I'm going to trim that off. So here's my excess fabric, and you can see now 2 sides of this square are actually cut at the 1/4 inch. So what's really, oh yes, if you share the video, write shared, because I'll be announcing the winners in just a minute. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the 3rd side of this square on point. All right, and we're going to just line it up there, and I've got it good, and we're going to go ahead and trim this off. So what's really important about quilting is really, you see me, all I'm doing are straight lines. 3 sides of this have now been squared up. Okay, so now we're going to go back over here to the last side, and I'm going to line that up, make sure it's all straight, and I'm going to trim it one more time. Okay, there we go. So this has now been trimmed to a square on point, and I'm going to trim another one, and I'm going to show you how we join these 2 together. All right. So yeah, these are great ruler tips. Do you see that little flap right there? I'm gonna square that up one more time, because I don't want that little funky monkey to mess us up. So what's important in quilting is in basic quilting, all you are doing is making straight stitching lines. You can do that. Cutting is kind of fun. It's almost like you're painting with fabric, but you're not really painting with fabric. I don't know. What is it? But it's kind of, I mean, look at how we cut some things up and we made this pretty. Okay, let's do another one that's already finished. Hold on, let me find it. Ooh, this one's so pretty. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna do this one, and then I'm gonna show you how to join these two squares together that are on point. Okay, so we have this one right here. I'm going to give it just a little press. It's already been pressed, but I'm gonna press it just a little bit more and use the Cricut Easy Press right here. I use the Cricut Easy Press because it is nice for me when I'm doing these videos. I don't have to worry about the iron rocking over and burning something or burning me. It's just a nice square thing, and it has a nice little caddy that you put it in, and it doesn't burn anything. This is actually the fabric that I selected to be the back of my quilt of the sample I'm making for you guys, which I am going to actually keep this quilt. I don't know, you guys. How do you decide what to quilt or not to quilt? Okay, so I'm going to line this up. I'm actually going to use that little bit of the 45-degree angle right there to make sure that I'm in line with that. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and mark that right at the 1/4 inch mark, and it's amazing. I'm going to show you this. Look at how, oh, I need to cut it one more time. Look at how uneven that is right there. Can you see that? See how when we stitch things together, it can get a little uneven. But when you're trimming it, you want everything to be perfectly square, because when you make things perfectly square, then that makes it so that everything matches up and all the seams just match up magically. Okay, so once again, that's another scrap. I've done the second side, and this is kind of relaxing. You do some sewing, you do some cutting, and one thing I'm doing is, let me show you this. When I'm lining this up to figure out, oh, how can I show you this? When I'm lining this up to figure out where to cut it, I am putting this quilt.
How often do you go live?
Oh, I go live Monday through Friday every day. So, and there's tons of history on my Stitches Quilting channel. So please follow me if you can, and then share it. It helps other people find the channel too. But do you see how I'm going straight on the ruler with the side of fabric that I've already cut square? Can you guys see that? So I'm going straight with that side of the ruler. I've got it just straight across. The ruler line is matching my quilt block line. Then I'm matching a 1/4 inch right at that little point, okay? And then I'm just slicing it off. So that way I know I'm getting a square cut. So can you see that? I have a 1/4 inch seam mark right there, right there. I've completed one that's my son's playmat. Several works in progress that are mine but haven't finished. Well, let's motivate you to get things finished. We all need to motivate each other. I agree. I agree. There's so many things to work on. There's just so many beautiful fabrics, and it just keeps going on and on. Okay, do you see how uneven that was? So do you see, by squaring things up, it makes things absolutely beautiful. Okay.
You go live at the same time every day.
You know what? I am trying to figure out what time is the best time to go live. I'm going to move these cameras back up. I am really trying hard to figure that out. I don't know. What do you guys think is the best time to go? Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Find you by chance.
I know, you guys. I don't know. What do you think is the best time to go live? Okay, here's my sewing machine. Let's move this over for Facebook. Let's make sure YouTube's got a bit of the sewing machine in there. There's Instagram. Okay, everybody can see a bit of the sewing machine. Here we go. Okay, these are my little extra scraps. I'm going to toss those. Let's toss those.
7 p.m. after dinner.
Yeah, 7 p.m. after dinner. Okay, so now we have our two really clean. Look at how clean those squares are with the white and that pop of color. Now we're going to match these two together. I'm going to show you how to sew 2 blocks together. These are, I think, two of my favorite fabrics. Okay, where's my cute little pair of scissors? Where did those go? Oh, they're right there where I left them. I am also going to trim off. You guys, help me. You guys, Kelly Fannin, somebody, Carolyn, what do you call these on the triangles? They're called something. They're called triangle. I'm cutting off my excess little triangle points. What is the name of the fabric again? The fabric is called Gingham Girls, and there's going to be a link in the start of this video of where you can buy the kit online at Stitches Quilting.
Dog ears.
Dog ears! Thank you! Thank you, Sheila. Okay, so those are the extra. Okay, look, here's a dog ear of a triangle, okay? That's what quilters call dog ears. I can't think of all my words when I'm doing this. Yes, dog ears are the points. So I'm gonna line up these 2 points right here. Okay, remember we're matching points, but it's like magic when you match points. Okay, so we've got these 2 points. I'm gonna stick a pin through it, right? Okay, so I'm gonna stick a pin through that point right there. That is not the point. The point is right here. See that I'm gonna stick a pin through that point, and ta-da! And then I'm gonna stick a pin through the point of this other, the blue. It's kind of nice, the red, and then I'm going through to the blue. So that matches up these 2 squares. Then we're gonna sew a 1/4 inch seam, and those 2 squares are gonna kiss together like perfect. Okay, so I know that they're matched up right there with that little, with that pin. So now I'm going to take my own pins and stick a pin through it. Yes, yes, absolutely, stick a pin through it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and match this up. Match it up. And I'm going to pin this block so it comes out really nicely. Okay, and we're gonna pin it over here. And then these 2 blocks will come together. And oh, I can't wait to see these 2 blocks together. Okay, so I've got these lined up. Oh, so well, one went through a little bit of my finger, just touched the flesh. Okay, so, and I'm gonna take my little pin out that I stuck through it, and I'm now going to match those 2 squares, come through that. Okay, so now look at the pins I have in there. Not very strategically placed, but it works, right? I like to put my pins, how do you guys like to pin? I like to put my pins perpendicular to the stitch line so I can easily pull them out. What about you guys? How do you guys do your pins? Okay, so I'm gonna line this up, and remember, we're just doing a 1/4 inch seam.
So you said do the salvages go opposite each other?
You know what, on this one, not really. You can feel that in there, but depending on which way you're pressing your fabric, which most of the time we're wanting to press the fabric to the dark side. So the dark side is always our square block. See how this is all going down to the dark side right here versus to the white. We don't really want to press to the white side.
Darth Vader, he went to the dark side.
Yeah, Darth Vader, my husband says, went to the dark side. Okay, so let's go ahead and stitch our 1/4 inch seam. And then we'll open up these blocks and you'll see how they match.
Do you ever use glue sticks instead of pin?
Do we what?
Do you ever use glue sticks instead of pin it?
Yeah, you can use a glue stick on, if you watch my 12 hacks video, that you like to pin a 40-degree angle. Oh, with the pin, I know the pin head is away from me right now. I don't usually pin that way. You could use a glue stick with your binding when you're binding your fabric. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we've got that all lined up. I'm gonna cut that thread. You guys, I sewed over my needle. I'm sorry. Sometimes I sew over my needles.
Pins.
My pins. I shouldn't do that, but I was a ways in. Okay, but some people, you shouldn't do that, okay? All right, look, you guys, look at how sweet that matched up. So there's our there's our 2 squares on point, and they're meeting together with that white. So I'm gonna press this real quickly. Okay, we'll lay this down. Hi, Jordan. Okay, so we're gonna press it just real quickly with the Cricut Easy Press, because Cricut Easy Press is just so easy to use.
That's what we call it, easy press.
Yeah, I guess Corey says that's why they called it the Cricut Easy Press. Okay, and remember, if you share the video, you're eligible to win some fat quarters of these really cute plaid fabrics that I've got. Okay, so there we go. There's the fat quarters. And then you can see how sweetly that matched up. So let's go ahead and press this on the front, just real lightly. We're not gonna mutate our fabrics by pushing them really hard. There we go. But look at how beautifully that matched up. Didn't that just match up beautifully? So that's what this quilt is going to look like. It's going to look like all of these charm packs on point. So right here, you can make it a baby size with a 5-inch charm pack, or which will be a baby size quilt, or you can make it a twin size that is using a layer cake, which is a 10-inch layer cake. Does that make sense? So that's as far as we're gonna get tonight.
How big would you make it if you want to be a king size?
Oh, Corey's asking me, how big do you make it if you want it to be a king size quilt? My husband, oh my gosh, we don't need that, figure that out right now. We're not going to figure that out. I don't know, maybe you guys want to figure that out for him. But right now it's 5 quilts by 7, 5 rows by 7 rows. 35 squares, Corey. I don't know, maybe you can figure out the math. Can you imagine all those pioneer ladies figuring out the math? Okay, so you guys, that's pretty much everything for tonight. Okay, so tonight, that's what this quilt is about. I will have the quilt top finished for you guys to see the twin size quilt finished, and I will post that on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook for all of you guys to see what it looks like. The pattern is available. There's a free pattern available with the kit. I will put up a blog post so you can get the pattern later when I have this quilt top finished too. So that's pretty much the gist of what we're talking about tonight. So tonight we talked about charm packs, we talked about layer cakes, right? We talked about how to cut fabric, how to cut a layer cake into triangles, how to sew triangles to squares, make a square on point, and to sew them together so pretty that they kiss together. Isn't that just beautiful? But it's so fun, and even if they don't match, it's okay. Don't let it bother you. You can see right up here, I need to square this fabric again. So we're always squaring our rows, and we're always squaring our squares. As we build our quilt, we constantly square everything. Okay, well, I get to go to a basketball game now. I don't know what you guys, oh, who won? Corey, tell us who won.
I don't know.
We need people that shared.
How
Look
many?
on the thing. We
How
need
many?
3 people from Facebook that shared. And then we've got 2 people from Instagram and a person from YouTube. So go ahead and pick the people, Corey.
3 from Facebook?
Yeah, just get the 3 from Facebook right now. And then we'll pick out the person from Instagram and from YouTube.
Did we announce it?
Yes, we will announce it. So just if you can quickly pick it. Okay, Corey's getting ready to pick. I'm really sorry, you guys. So people that shared the video, and it'll say shared. Should I pick? I feel like I always pick the same people. You pick, okay, Corey? Anyways, I don't know. But I get to go to a basketball game now. My son is playing church basketball. It starts at 8 p.m. here, Utah time. I'm really excited about it. It's the first game of the season.
Okay, I've got 3 names.
And what did you say? You have 3 names for me from Facebook.
So,
Do you want to hand over the paper? Oh, okay. Look, he wrote it in a yellow highlighter. Isn't he cute?
that's all I can find.
Okay, Gina Loop on Facebook. Gina Loop, L-O-U-P, Gina Loop. And Randy Silva, R-A-N-D-I, last name S-I-L-V-A. And the third person is Linda Snook. So Linda, oh, whoops, I lost my comments. Linda Snook, S-N-O-O-K. So if you guys are still on live, then please, you need to direct message me your email addresses, okay? And then I will ship, and it doesn't matter where you live, I will ship internationally. And let me go on Facebook. So anybody that's stuck with us, okay, Let's go with Amanda Reads a Lot. Okay, and let's go with Carolyn Schofield on Instagram. Those two people. Amanda Reads a Lot and Carolyn Schofield for sticking with us on whatever platform, we keep floating around to. So you're awesome. There's one person on YouTube, so I'll have to get that person's, Corey, we got to write that down. Amanda, message me with your address, and Carolyn, I'll need your address too. I might have it, I don't know. But those are the winners for tonight, okay? So direct message me your address. If you're international, I need your phone number and your email address because that's what it requires. Okay, so happy day, happy wonderfulness, and we're gonna enjoy this quilt. I really am. This Gingham Girls collection. There is a link in the post up above of where to go purchase the kit if you actually want to purchase this kit. I think it's $60 for the baby quilt, and I think I can't remember what it is for the twin size quilt. So it's not a lot. I'm really trying to keep the prices super duper low for you guys, just so you don't have to spend a lot of money. But you can use your own charm packs, and you can use your own layer cake that you've been hoarding away and have stashed away. Okay? So love you guys tons. I will see you tomorrow on the other side. We are actually going to teach you how to applique, and I'm going to be doing the applique Let's Bake quilt with Lori Holt. You're going to see me applique 3 little pies, okay? And I'm going to teach you applique skills. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. Please leave me comments about what time you think is the best time for me to go live. I don't know what's the best time. So leave me a comment about what time you think is the best time to go live. And I'd love input because I just don't know what's the best time. There's just people from all over the world watching these. So anyways, love you guys tons, and we will see you tomorrow. And we'll be doing applique. Then on Thursday, we'll be doing more of this quilt, and we'll be doing this Valentine heart that has got the cutest surprise in the middle. I can't wait for you guys to see it, but I will throw up a sample, and you guys are going to die when you see it. I think so. I think it's so clever, but anyways, we'll see. Okay, have a great evening. Can I go live at 7 p.m. Eastern Central Time? That's a good suggestion. Keep suggesting times, okay? We will talk to you a little bit later, and please keep commenting. And I hope you guys feel like I comment back to each one of your comments. If you guys ask a question, I am commenting back, okay? So we will talk to you guys a little bit later. Thanks so much. We'll see ya. Oh, good. Thank you. Okay.